You're not too sensitive. You're highly aware. And right now, that awareness feels heavy. You notice everything. The tone in a room. The shift in someone's mood. The quiet pressure behind a deadline. The way your body tightens before your mind can explain why. You've probably been told directly or indirectly that this makes life harder than it needs to be. That you overthink, that you feel too much, that you should toughen up, let things roll off your back, stop taking everything so personally. So you try. You push yourself to be less affected. You minimize what you feel. You keep going, even when something inside you is already exhausted. And that's where the overwhelm creeps in. Not all at once. Quietly, gradually, until one day you realize you're tired in a way sleep doesn't fix. There's a kind of exhaustion that comes from constantly translating the world, from always scanning, from being attuned to details others don't even register. You might not say this out loud, but you've probably wondered if something is wrong with you, why things feel so intense, why your nervous system seems to react faster than other people's, why rest feels earned only after you've pushed past your limit. Let's slow this down for a moment. What you're experiencing isn't a flaw. It's not weakness, and it's not immaturity. It's awareness. Highly aware people don't just think more, they sense more. They process more input emotionally, socially, mentally before they ever respond. Your system is designed to pick up nuance, subtext, risk, meaning. That's not a character defect. It's a nervous system doing exactly what it evolved to do. But here's the part no one explains. In a culture built on speed, output, and constant stimulation, awareness can feel like a liability. Not because it is one, but because the environment doesn't pause. So your system stays alert, too alert, for too long. When that happens, overwhelm isn't a sign you're failing. It's a signal that your internal bandwidth is full. Avoidance isn't laziness, it's protection. Procrastination isn't a lack of discipline. It's your nervous system saying, I don't feel safe enough to engage yet. Emotional numbness isn't apathy. It's a temporary shutdown when feeling everything becomes too much. None of this means you're broken. It means you've been carrying more than is visible. Highly aware people often learn early to adapt, to read the room, to adjust themselves, to stay one step ahead of discomfort. Over time, that adaptation can turn into pressure. Pressure to perform calmness. Pressure to stay capable. Pressure to not need too much. And eventually, your system asks for a pause, sometimes gently, sometimes not. Burnout, in this context, isn't about working too hard. It's about being internally on for too long. Relief starts when we stop blaming the sensitivity and start understanding the awareness. When you stop asking, why am I like this? And start asking, What has my system been responding to? Because awareness without safety turns into anxiety. Awareness without rest turns into exhaustion. Awareness without permission turns into self-judgment. You don't need to become less aware. You need less pressure around your awareness. Notice what happens when you let that sink in. There's often a subtle softening, a release of self-criticism you didn't realize you were holding. You're not behind because you move carefully. You're not weak because you feel deeply. You're not failing because you need more recovery time. Your pace makes sense for how much you perceive. And when pressure eases, something important returns. Clarity. Motivation doesn't disappear when you rest. It recalibrates. When your nervous system feels safer, decision-making becomes quieter. Focus becomes less forced. Energy returns without being dragged out of you. This isn't about doing less forever. It's about doing from a place that doesn't cost you your sense of self. Highly aware people thrive when they trust their internal signals instead of overriding them. That trust doesn't come from pushing harder, it comes from listening sooner. Right now, you don't need to fix yourself. You don't need to catch up. You don't need to prove resilience. You're allowed to exist without performing strength. You're allowed to move at a pace that honors how much you process. You're allowed to take your own nervous system seriously. Agency isn't about forcing action. It's about choice. And choice becomes possible again when shame steps aside. So, if today feels foggy, that's okay. If motivation feels distant, that's understandable. If rest feels unfamiliar, that doesn't mean it's wrong. Nothing here is urgent. Nothing about you needs to be rushed. You are not too sensitive. You are highly aware. And awareness, when supported instead of punished, becomes one of the most grounded forms of strength. You don't have to do anything. With this insight right now, just let it settle. There's space here, and you can take it with you.